We are live here at First United Methodist Church in Conway, well, actually in my apartment. My name is Michelle Morris, and I am the associate pastor here at First United Methodist Church in Conway. It's great to be with you all. We are doing an event tonight in which we will highlight hiking. Each week we have a different word that we focus on as part of our Lenten event, and this week's word is delight, and we're delighting in God's creation. We've had a number of families from our church who have submitted videos for us, and they are going to share places that they love and tips about those places. Tonight, we're going to start with a general overview of hiking in Arkansas and actually hiking other places in the world, honestly. Then we're going to go to Pedestal and also hear a reflection on some good tips for families, as well as some good tips for new hikers. Then we're going to head to Cadron Settlement, to Woolly Hollow, to Lake Catherine down by Hot Springs, and then we'll finish out the night up at Mount Eagle. I hope that you enjoy this journey through God's creation and enjoy listening to folks share what they love about this beautiful world. So without any further ado, let me share the video and enjoy.
Hello, I'm JD.
And I'm Janet. And we just wanted to share with you a little bit about something that's important to us that you may not know about us from the average Sunday morning.
So my folks were all school teachers, and we grew up with our family vacations being camping. Everything that we did was in Arkansas state parks and in campgrounds. And so I very early on kind of acquired a love of being outdoors, and the idea of just spending some time and walking in the Arkansas woods is something that I have always and continue to enjoy.
And growing up in England, walking was something that families often did together and still do together. A Sunday afternoon walk was very traditional. There are public footpaths all over the country that are free and you can access from just about anywhere. So wherever you are, you're close to a public footpath. You can walk through farmland and through woods. So that's something we always enjoyed as a family, and we've enjoyed when we go home to England also as a family. I like to walk for exercise pretty much every day. I walk first thing in the morning, 5 or 6 miles, but I just walk around Conway, and I use the walking trails a lot. And you can add little bits of those, so you can do very short distances, or you can add the whole thing together and do a lot longer. But if we have half a day at the weekend, then we often like to go somewhere just a little further afield, not too far. So a lot of you will take the opportunity to go to somewhere like Pedestal or Pinnacle. We enjoy Woolly Hollow a lot, just the other side of Greenbrier. And we also fairly recently discovered Bell Slough, again, just the other side of Mayflower, which is not a long hike. It's about 2.5 miles, but again, it has a few loops so that you can do them several times if you want to. And it's close, but it feels like you're a lot further away than you really are, and it's quiet and really very pleasant. We enjoy that.
There are also some places that are a little further afield, but certainly are easily doable in a daytime. And we end up having frequent guests from out of state or guests from around the or out of the country even. And our sort of favorite thing to do is to take a day and show them a little bit of the Arkansas outdoors. So whether it's with others or just the two of us, it's quite often that we'll do that as one of the days of a free weekend. So we've got a couple of state parks that are a little further afield than Pedestal at Mount Nebo, where there's a great rim trail, and then some other options too once you get to the top. Mount Magazine is a little further down the road, but once you get there, there are both very long-term, long-distance trails, as well as, again, some rim trails around the top. We experienced one of those in the spring, and were amazed that the woods were literally covered in bloom.
It was fantastic.
Wildflowers
Spectacular.
on all sides of the trails and all out through the woods. It was really beautiful. And that's one of the things we've discovered is the sort of the seasonal differences. You can walk the same trail, and doing it in the spring or doing it in the winter are completely different experiences. And so we've enjoyed that as well. For us, probably the feast of trails is on Highway 7, either north of the interstate or south of the interstate. If you go a little further than Russellville and then head up Highway 7 all the way up to the Buffalo River, there are just multiple trails that are there and available. We really like one called Pedestal Rocks, which has some great rock formations.
Which you can see better in the fall or the winter when there aren't leaves on the trees.
That's true. Probably our favorite one, and the one that pushed us the furthest, is the Goat Trail on the Buffalo River, where you're walking on a pretty thin edge around the side of a cliff. And the fact that Jan did that's pretty, well, that I did it's pretty amazing, and the fact that she did it's even more amazing. If you want to go south on Highway 7, all the way down around Hot Springs, there are great trails around Lake Catherine and Lake Ouachita, and then in between on the way in the National Forest. The National Forest is just full of those trails. We have a book that we use that we'll give you a tip about in a minute that has lots of these trails identified that tell you where they are, how to access them, the kinds of facilities that they have available, and we found that to be really helpful. So this is Tim Ernst's book on Arkansas hiking trails, and as I said, it lists 100 different trails and gives you all the information that you need. And we kind of have fun trying to make sure that we've done as wide a variety as possible, and you can check them off on the book as you go. So we've done quite a few, but we have a long way to go. So
there's also a very good Facebook group that has to do with hiking in Arkansas, and I get ideas from that too. My tip would be something that sounds a little weird, but when I've walked in England before, I've seen people walking a lot with poles, with sticks, and always thought that was a little dorky, a little wimpy, to be honest, until Sarah and I went on a really long and strenuous hike one day. We're going to do another one the next day, and we said, okay, we're going to try the poles, and the difference was amazing. So this Christmas, when I was trying to think about 3 days before Christmas, what do I get JD for Christmas? Help, it's only 3 days. I had this idea that on our bucket list is to do a long hike in England along the south coast. It's about 50 or 60 miles, and we want to do that someday. And so I thought, oh, I should get him some poles so that when we do this hike, we'll be all ready, and it's sort of a sign that yes, I'm excited about it, I'm in for it. And so Christmas morning I was very excited, and we exchanged gifts on Sunday morning, on Christmas morning, and I can't remember who opened theirs first. I can't remember, but anyway, the short version of it is that we had both bought each other the exact same gift. So we are armed with our poles, and we are good to go on one of these days. We're going to do the South Downs Way in England.
So Michelle's last question is, how does hiking connect us to God? For me, I think I would have to say, in all honesty, that I don't find that walking and hiking is a sort of a deeply religious experience, but I would say that it's really important to me, and just experiencing God in creation, I think, is reaffirming for me. And that's especially true, and this can happen really often on Arkansas trails that are close by, when you can be on the top of a hill and see nothing but trees and no buildings, no outside influence, and those kinds of opportunities, particularly of just being part of creation in its original form, I really enjoy.
I enjoy the fact that that it's quiet time, and that I often realize that I don't actually take any time to be quiet during the normal day or the week, and it's very, very, very refreshing and reinvigorating to be outside and to actually be able to breathe. and recognize that I'm breathing and taking time for myself, but also for us, because like many of you, we don't, during the regular week, it's rare that we actually have time to sit down and have a conversation. So we have some of our best conversations during our hikes or during the drives, assuming I'm still awake. So that works out really well. So I think it's the best of all worlds, and especially this past year, it's been a very, very good activity, something that we've enjoyed and invested a lot of time in.
Hello FGMC Conway. We're out here at Pedestal State Park above the falls. It's a crisp about 23 degrees. Waiting on some snow for Sunday and Monday. Kayla, what do you like about hiking?
I like the icicles and the snow sometimes that it snows, and the water.
Alec, what do you like about hiking?
Giant icicles.
And I like just being out in the beauty of nature. You never know what you're going to discover, different rocks, different flowers, and hanging out with cool people, and always a cold Dr. Pepper at the end of the hike.
Don't forget the peanut butter and honey sandwich, which we just had. And like seeing these kids explore new areas and check out the ice or the snakes or waterfalls, whatever it is. So, see you on the trail.
Bye. Bye.
Good afternoon, First Church. We're coming to you from the treehouse today. It's about 70 degrees, pretty warm. Follow up to our Pedestal hike where it's about 23 degrees. Pedestal's a great place to go. It's real close to Conway, about 20-30 minutes to the west, and lots of good trails there. Cedar Falls, Rock House, Seven Hollows. Nothing real difficult. Occasional thigh burner. Some other great places we like to go include Pedestal Rocks, kind of northeast of Russellville. Good rim trail, lots to explore below the rim. Richland Creek Wilderness area, lots of good short waterfalls there. Plus you got Twin Falls and Richland Falls. Those can be a little more difficult. Several creek crossings can be pretty deep, so you might need a pair of shorts and sandals, or if it's real cold and your feet are going to be numb anyway, just go barefoot and chance it on the bedrock. Other ones include anything in the Ouachita's, Ozarks, Upper Buffalo. We like a good bushwhack where you got to get off the trail, find your own way, go find some cool stuff. Alec, anything you like to take on your hiking trips?
Some food for a lunch and a snack.
Okay, Kayla, what about you?
I would take a hiking stick, a backpack to carry your stuff in, so you don't have to carry it with your hands, and some bug spray if you're going to be going in the summer.
Great items to take, kids. I'd also probably add a first aid kit in there, and if it's going to be a longer hike, plenty of water, a water filtration pump, and topographical map. So I'd say if you're new to hiking, certainly sign up a friend to go, or at least let someone know your route and plan, expected time of return. Take a map with you. There's also lots of great phone apps out there. I use View Ranger. There's also, I think, a free one called Avenza that the United States Forest Service uses, and you can download free maps from them. So that's what we like to do. So hit the trail. We'll see you out there.
Bye.
Bye.
Cadron Settlement Park. We've been hiking today, and it's pretty nice. It's a little easier for people who haven't really done a lot of hiking. It's easy for dogs. As long as you have them on a leash. I don't think you need too much special gear. Maybe some good shoes would be helpful. Bowen, do you have any good tips for people that want to hike?
Bring lots of water, especially if you have dogs.
That's a good call. Our dogs drink a whole lot of water when we're on a hike. My favorite place to hike is Pedestal. I just think there's lots of cool trails there, and that it's very beautiful. And then after a long day hiking, you can go back to the lodge and have like a good lunch, at least in non-COVID times. So I look forward to that again.
My favorite place to hike is around the Buffalo River. Any of the trails in Jasper, I just like it up there because it's different than central Arkansas. And as far as why we like to hike, for me, it's because I do feel much closer to God whenever we're outside. And I work in an office all day long during the week, and so I want to be outside every weekend if I can. So I just love to walk around, and it makes me feel closer to God just to be out in nature. And it makes me even happier when the whole family can come out together.
Hey, we're at Willie Hollow State Park, and Will and I came out here so that we could be together, but also he can mountain bike and I can run, but we can still be together at the same time.
Willie Hollow is a great place to mountain bike. It's very close to Conway, only about 8 miles from Conway, just outside of Greenbrier. I'm not an extremely technical mountain biker, and so I would call the trails here moderate, and they're just perfect for me. And there's probably about 10 miles of trails total that you can bike here at Willie Hollow.
So what we like to do is Will get on the trail, and I usually will run behind him, or he'll ride his bike behind me, and we can hang out, and it's a good workout for both of us. The great thing about Willie Hollow is it's close to Conway, and you don't need a lot of special equipment. So if you're a runner like me, the most important thing is a good pair of shoes.
If you're going to mountain bike out here, I would suggest that you have at least a basic mountain bike. A hybrid bike might not do very well on these mountain bike trails. It's a little more technical for that.
We have lots of places we like to bike and run and hike. And so not only do we come out here, we'll ride our road bikes around Conway. We'll also get on our mountain bikes, or I have a hybrid bike, and we'll just leave right from our house and ride down the trails to downtown Conway and have brunch or lunch and come back. So that makes a nice short afternoon trip. We like to take our bikes with us on vacation whenever possible and find trails there. We like hiking all over the state.
Northwest Arkansas, Hot Springs, wherever we are. Hiking and biking for me is an opportunity to decompress, to de-stress, and reconnect with nature. And when I'm out here riding the trails, I focus on the trails and the nature around me, and it helps me to forget about the things I might be worried about at work or somewhere else in my life.
And for me, running and hiking and biking are definitely ways to de-stress, which is important. Also, particularly with hiking, when you're outside in nature, you notice things that you wouldn't necessarily notice if you were riding or just driving by in a car. And for those of you who know me and know about my family, stewardship of the environment is really important to us, and appreciating the world around you. And so it's a really good way for me to have that spiritual connection when I'm outside.
And it's a great workout.
And it's a great workout.
We're Bonnie and Steve Laycock. We moved to Conway, Arkansas about 3 years ago. We really enjoy this part of Arkansas and this part of the country, and that's one reason that we were drawn here. We like to hike and do outdoor activities, and so we're out today at Lake Catherine State Park hiking a trail to a waterfall.
So when the pandemic hit almost a year ago now, we felt like we were just having to quarantine in our house for week after week after week until we realized that we could actually get out and go hiking and not be around people, and yet it would release a lot of pent-up energy and a lot of frustration with not being able to do anything. So from then on, about once a week, when we'd really get tired of being in the house, we'd head out and try another trail. We rate our trails 0 to 10, and we decided any trail over 8 we'll go back to or take friends to. So this trail is a 10. So here we are at Lake Catherine State Park. It's a beautiful day, 75 degrees, but still snow on the ground. That's crazy. And
Today, we're going to be hiking to the waterfall.
So one reason we really like this trail is it's nice and wide. So during COVID, when you're getting out and you hope not to run into a lot of people, this is really nice having a wide trail. You don't have to climb off into the brush or the leaves or down the side of the cliff to get out of someone's way. And the other nice thing about the wide trail is you don't have to contend with the poison ivy coming up over the trail in the summertime. But this is a beautiful little area to rest. This is Lake Catherine. This is a pretty easy trail. It's pretty level. After a while though, maybe the second mile, you go up and down a bit through the woods, but it's really not a difficult trail. This trail has good signage all the way along. From the very beginning when you have a map showing you the route, and then this trail we're on is the red mark on the trees. So if you know which trail you're on, you just follow that all the way through and you get back to your car eventually. So here's a fun bridge, very squeaky and very bouncy. So we've been here before and we just really like it, but here is what pushed this over into the 10 category. This beautiful waterfall. We love chasing waterfalls, and if a trail has a waterfall on it, it boosts it right up the scale, the scoring scale, pretty quick. And we're told that kids love to swim here in the summertime. We haven't been here in the summer yet, but I know our grandkids would love it. Swim in this pool. We found one reason, or several reasons, we like to hike in the winter time, because we don't have to worry about the poison ivy or the ticks
Or the snakes.
or the snakes. Yay! This is a really easy hike from the parking lot. Pretty level and not very far. If you want to go the rest of the way, it gets a little more up and down, but it's really beautiful. Or if you just wanted to come visit the waterfall, that works too. So Steve, where do you see God out here when we take these hikes?
When we're out in nature like this, I feel very blessed to be able to see the handiworks of God and this beautiful creation that He has done for us.
And to me, this is like God's sanctuary. I feel closer to God here than in some of the most beautiful cathedrals in the world. You know, during the time of COVID, it's so nice to get out and get in nature, and you just feel a sense of peace and feels like everything's going to be okay. We're going to make it. God's got this one. A lot of times people will ask us what's our favorite trail, and I don't know that we really have a favorite trail yet, but we really like the trail up on top of Mount Nebo that goes around the perimeter of the Mount Nebo State Park. It's a great trail, a couple miles, and the views are incredible. We have found all the state parks have really great trails, and other than that, we have Tim Ernst's book on hiking Arkansas trails, and that's a good place to learn about trails and how hard they are, how long they are, what level of difficulty.
Hey guys, it's Jeremy here, and today I'm hiking at Mount Eagle. Mount Eagle is a United Methodist Church-owned camp retreat center, and it's just northeast of Clinton, Arkansas. And so today, join me. I'm going to show us the big trails, the small trails, the unique formations up here, and it should be a good trip. So the first trail up here today we're going to do is the Bear Cave, Boat Chapel, Sunrise Point. It all goes to out and back. It's about a mile hike round trip. And to get to it, you're going to go to the very back of the retreat center at the lodge parking lot, and you'll notice the signs to guide you towards the way. So this is the Boat Chapel at Mount Eagle. Really neat place. So just left of the Boat Chapel, you'll see a sign for Scenic Overlook. There's several of these up here at Mount Eagle, and the majority of the trails are easy, they're kid friendly. You don't need anything special, hiking boots, water. But be careful on these scenic overlooks because they are unfenced. There's nothing holding these little kids back. That's the most dangerous part about up here. But other than that, it's very kid friendly, family friendly, very easy hiking with some gorgeous views.
Hey Jeremy, what's your favorite place to hike up here at Mount Eagle?
I think this Sunrise Point is about one of the best panoramic views. My other one is Bear Cave. It's the most popular. We're gonna try to find some waterfalls this afternoon. If we do that, that will be my absolute favorite because I love moving water. But we'll see how it goes.
How many years have you been coming up here, Jeremy?
I've been up here, golly, we were in junior high and high school, so 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? And the beauty up here is still the same, right?
Same.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed, just age.
Yep. We've gotten older, but the beauty of God's creation is still here.
So we're headed down to Bear Cave, and this is probably the steepest part of any trail system out here, but they've got a rope for us, so it's not terrible. Well, there's our tour of the Bear Cave at Mount Eagle.
We got lucky this time. We didn't hear a bear or see a bear in there.
Bad lucky.
What about coming to Mount Eagle and hiking all of these trails that we've been on today, and even some of the trails that we haven't been on today? What about that would help people connect to God?
Just nature in itself is like, I automatically feel surrounded by the Holy Spirit when you're in nature. It's like, because nobody else can make this stuff but one person.
Right.
And, a lot of people, you're in a bad mood or have a bad day, you get mad, they get in a car and have to drive, to calm down. This is my calm down. Like if I'm in a rough mood or a bad mood or just need to clear my head, I go to the woods. A lot of times my wife will say, you need to go on a hike. Okay, so that means I'm a little cranky, so I'll get here and refreshed.
That's a good way to get rid of some pent-up anger and bitterness that we tend to hold on to in life. And so when you do get out in nature, it does help so much, the peacefulness of being out in nature. And even if it was raining, can you imagine if it was raining right now? I was just sitting here listening to the rain drip off these rocks we're sitting under in Turkey Cave. Just a beautiful thing to think about. And just being able to hear the water just over the ledge. And it's not a lot of water, but you can hear it trickling down through the valley down there. And it's so peaceful. Yeah, the other day I posted a picture from up here and I said, there is always something new to find at Mount Eagle that God has created. And I've been up here now since the 22nd of December, and I have found all these new places to go and hike around to. And last night we were out hiking around and we could hear frogs croaking. It was warm yesterday, so the frogs were croaking on just a puddle on the side of the road. It was just a wonderful thing to get to witness and hear. So just a little plug for Mount Eagle. There's 2 lodges up here that you can stay in. Those lodges have huge, fully stocked kitchens. They sleep 32 each. We have 2 cottages that sleep 10 to 12 each. And then we have the Hermitage Cottage, which is for a single person or a couple, just to get off the grid. And it's a great, it's got a screened in front porch, no Wi-Fi, no TV, just a beautiful place to come and sit on the screened porch and listen to the frogs croak in the pond that is just off the porch. And we have a campground that's just unbelievable, that's rarely used, and it's $25 a night. And it's got full hookups, electric hookups, water, sewer right there at the, you just plug your pipe in and let it drain. I mean, you don't even have to carry your stuff back with you to town. So those campsites are $25 a night. The stay up here is $25 per person. And you cannot beat that anywhere in the state of Arkansas, probably in the world, and get to see the things that we have gotten to witness today. Such a blessing. So glad to have you up here.
Atlanta, I'm glad you came with me. I enjoyed it.
Good.
And for those of you who don't want to spend the night or can't spend the night, it's an hour and 15 from Conway. You can look it up. It's just north of Clinton. Spend the entire day here.
Picnic.
Drive back home. It's perfect.
Yep. Close by.
Yep. Well, that's it. We're out of here. We're worn out, and we're going to take a nap.
Yeah. Bye.